How's it, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Think Rich. Today we've got a very interesting topic, and it surrounds Google, one of the companies that I look up to the most, and one of the companies where I think anyone can learn from. Anyone in business can learn from Google. Let's get right into the meat of it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's some Google facts coming your way. $100 billion in annual revenue. Google generates $100 billion in annual revenue. Okay, they hit that in 2017. This is a massive company. It's one of the biggest tech companies in the game. It's certainly the biggest search engine company in the game. And according to Glassdoor, which is a website that ranks businesses, they said that Google is in the top 10, or more specifically, it's the 8th best company to work for on the planet. This is a fantastic company, ladies and gentlemen. But it's also a company, like I said, that we can learn from. So it begs the question, what's their secret? How has Google affected so many people's lives in a positive way? How has Google literally become a part of our culture? How has Google literally become a verb in the dictionary? Okay, what is their actual secret? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been actually reading up on this topic, literally reading a book on the history of Google, because I'm just so fascinated about how they built this massive empire from literally their university chambers. They literally built this, I don't know, what is it called? Their dorm. I don't know why I called it a chamber. Okay, it sounds like a prison. They built Google on the side. Well, they started Google on the side while they were in university. But I'm going off topic here. What is their secret? Okay, well, there's two main things that the company focuses on. The first one is providing the best free product it can. Before it even sold anything to anyone, Google knew that they had to create a free product that was so good that people will literally buy anything that they sell. They knew that they needed to sell a product to gain trust in the marketplace. And it was actually quite interesting. When they were in the era of search engines, and when Google came into being, the search engine industry or whatever was so far behind. Like when you were to type something into a search engine, very rarely would you get what you're looking for. Like you would just type in something, I don't know, like Shakespeare, and then some like pictures of turtles would be coming up on your feed, and you'd just be like, what the frick? That was literally the internet. Like that was search engines back in the day. And Google and Sergey and Larry Page, they were like, yo, we can fix this. And so that's what they did. They created the search engine for in the beginning just for the college campus. But then they decided, look, we can create something explosive here. We can change the way people consume information. We can change the way people access information and the rate that they do. And that's what they did. And their search engine, the Google search engine, was so good that they didn't even advertise. Now, it's debatable whether you can do that now, okay? But back then, the internet was so small that when you made a ripple, everybody knew, okay? Especially when you're in the search engine industry. Back then, when search engines were really shitty, and you created an amazing search engine, people were going to notice. And so, what was interesting in the book is the author David. He actually, I think it's just David A. I think that's what it says on the front. But the author, he says that they used to call it free advertising back in the good old days, because these companies would look at Google and be so impressed that they would write articles about the company, literally promoting Google. And Google didn't pay them a cent. And that's the power of a really good product. If your product is really good, back in the day, people would notice and write about your company. Now, like I said, it's debatable whether you can do that today, but pretty freaking incredible. They grew their company completely organically with no advertising. Absolutely insane. So, they made this search engine that completely knocked any other search engine out of the park. Okay, and it still continues to do so. Like, we still use Google today. And therefore, people naturally wanted to go and work for Google. Very interesting point there. When you make something that really provides value, people will naturally come and ask to work for you. Like, yo, let me do this, let me do that. And you'll start, especially when you start growing your business, you will start to get a lot more people coming to you and going, look, let me help you with this. And you need to know which one of those people are reliable, which one of those you can trust. And this goes into my second point. The second thing that Google focuses on is making sure that their employees are taken care of. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the movie The Internship. Brilliant marketing there. Google saw that this production company, right, was working on this movie called The Internship, and it was supposed to be a comedy about these two guys that get an internship into Google. And so Google was like, yo, come film on the actual campus. They funded the thing because they knew that people were going to watch that film, A, and B, it's a great way to get people to see the culture within Google. I had no idea Google was running that kind of way until I saw The Internship. Now, I'll also link The Internship down below if you haven't seen the movie. It's a freaking great movie. You should go watch it. I enjoyed it. And it didn't feel... That was another thing. It didn't feel like I was watching an advertisement at all. But yeah, they make sure that their employees are comfortable. They make sure that their employees are taken care of. And they make sure their employees are treated with respect. What do I mean? Well, let me tell you a couple of rules on the Google campus. First off, there's free food everywhere. There is free food. You can go to the cafeteria whenever you want. Okay, there's just the fact that there's a food place alone in the business. Not many people and not many businesses have that, where there's actual food stalls within the business that employees can go to and buy food. But no, Google takes it a step further and goes, hey, it's free. Go, enjoy, okay? There's a gaming center. People can literally stop what they're doing, go to the gaming center, and go play some FIFA. Go play some Fortnite. Doesn't matter. There's literally a gaming center on this campus. That's the noun that they use. A campus. They literally call it a campus. Because the beautiful thing about Google is they run it like a college. Because they know that they want to create this culture where people want to stay at work. It's brilliant. They persuade people with all these things. Like, there's even parties on the campus. There's literally parties. So, like, people have fat jaws, there's free food, there's a gaming center. I mean, wouldn't you want to just spend your life there? I would. It's amazing. And that's the point of it, is the more time people spend at work, the more productive they will be. And so Google knows. So they spend all this money to make sure that their employees are taken care of, to make sure that their employees are feeling welcome and are feeling rested. You can literally bring your dog to work. You can bring your pets to work, okay? It's like the stuff that you can do in Google is ridiculous. But not only that, okay? In the internship, you saw there was a lot of young guys there. There wasn't a lot of older people, which was kind of the joke of the internship, actually, is that these two older guys have to compete against the younger guys. But actually, in reality, Google encourages people of all ages to actually, work for their company. They provide funeral cover, okay? Funeral cover. So if an employee dies, Google pays that employee's family like 50% of his salary for 10 years. And I didn't just pull that out of my arse, even though that it sounds like that. I did research, and that is literally a rule. That's how much Google cares about their employees. So, keeping all of this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, how can we implement? Okay, very, very important. When we learn something, we always ask ourselves the question of how can we implement? Okay, so looking at Google, what was the very, very first thing that I told you? They created a brilliant free product, this search engine. So that is exactly what you need to do with your business. You need to create something that is free, first off. And secondly, not only is it supposed to be free, it's got to be bloody fantastic. People need this product. Okay? So that's if you're selling a product. The easier way to do it is create content. So creating content on YouTube, maybe. Creating content on, I don't know, SoundCloud, Spotify. Creating content. You can go blogging. You can blog even. Doesn't matter. That, I would say, if you're starting from scratch, if you're young and you're starting from scratch, create content. Doesn't matter if you do it on YouTube, or it doesn't matter what platform. It doesn't matter what the content is, really. Pick a topic and create content and build that audience, because you need an audience to buy your whatever you're selling in order to make your business profitable. But the only way you're going to get that audience without a big marketing managing team is actually providing content for them. That's just how it is. Unless you have a big budget and you've got some really, really big minds behind you, then you could maybe just not, you wouldn't have to do content, because I mean, they know what they're doing. But because you're young and because you're dumb and because you're broke, start with your audience first, okay? And when you start, like I said, like with the Google search engine, when they created this product, people naturally started to ask, yo, can I work for you? And so it's only natural to assume that when you start providing value in the marketplace, creating this content of whatever you're doing, people are going to approach you and be like, yo, let me help you out. Let me work for you. And so you need to know how to hire. So let's talk about hiring real quick. How do you hire people? What are you looking for? Okay, so let's refer back to Google. Google hires people that it's quite interesting actually. They put a verb to it. They call it googliness. Okay, and googliness is basically people that are motivated and they understand Google's vision. And so that's exactly the audience that you need to, that's exactly the employees that you need to work on, that you need to employ. The people that actually see what you're trying to create. They see the potential in it, not only, but they want to contribute and be like, yo, I want to be a part of this. Let me be a part of this. I can see this is going to go big. Let me jump on, let me help. I'm going to do the best thing that I can. And you want motivated people like that, okay? And secondly, once you do hire them, treat them not only with respect, but like family, okay? You're not hiring this person to make more money at the end of the day, but you're also hiring them to create a culture in your business. You're hiring them to create an environment, a creative environment where you can collectively, as a team, impact the world and make the world a better place. That's what you're doing. Doesn't always have to be about profits all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Business affects people, real people. Business affects people positively, negatively. Business is the be-all and end-all of life, okay? Which is why I teach it, and which is why I study it. Because business is the way to go. You can be as creative as you want when it comes to business. There's no thinking outside the box, inside the box. With business, you can bloody throw the box away. It doesn't matter. Okay, but I'm going off topic as usual. If you don't have tons of money, give them as much freedom as you can. Now, yes, very, very important. If you're starting early, if you're starting early, like me, or if you just don't have a lot of money, thing is, you need to give them as much freedom as possible, and you need to trust your employees, okay? Sebastian knows. The very first thing that I did was, so Sebastian's my editor, by the way. When I started Think Rich, and I hired him, but he I asked him basically, kind of begged him a little bit. But yeah, when I hired him, the very first thing, and he'll say he'll testify against this or whatever. The very first thing I did was give him the channel code, like the channel password, So if he wanted to, he could completely take down this podcast right now. He could change everything to Chinese. He could do whatever he wanted to. But I did that for a reason. I did that because look, I wanted to show, hey, we need to trust each other, okay? Like, let's create something together. Let's work as a team. I want you to be completely on board of what I'm doing, and I want you to contribute as well. So yeah, when you're creating your business, and like Google as well, treat your people like family, but also trust them. Okay? If you don't have a lot of money, give them that freedom. Don't micromanage them. Give them, like I told Sebastian, be as creative as you want, okay, when it comes to editing. Like, I encourage it. I give him a week, and I literally give him one project per week, and I freaking encourage him, bro, to grab the project by the balls and do crazy shit, because that's how you create a good business. That's how you create a good culture. And that's what Google does as well. It launches these employees into projects, and the employees work under, yeah, it's immense pressure, but it's loads of fun. Because, hey, you can be as creative as you like. You can go left, you can go right, you can go forward, backwards. Doesn't matter where your creativity goes. Like, I read somewhere a long time ago is that rather throw someone into the deep end and be surprised by their results than micromanage them and let them suffer. That wasn't the quote specifically, but it was kind of like that. Let them be free. Let your employees fly, okay? Let them fly. And yeah, just create a culture, basically. Like I was saying, create a culture that promotes. Create that culture that promotes trust and promotes feedback. Very important. When you're working with your employees, be honest with them and ask them, yo, be honest with me. What am I doing wrong? Okay? And then I always, like with me and Sebastian as well, whenever I pick up something, I go, yo, this, and this. And he goes, perfect. Because I know. And I tell him, dude, if I'm doing something retarded, tell me. If I'm singing in a very bad mic, tell me. Should have told me that, Sebastian, by the way. But just tell me, okay? Yeah, honestly, but yeah, it's create that culture of trust and feedback, and you'll create a fantastic business. And that's how we're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Think Rich, and yeah, I certainly enjoyed filming it. It's been great. It's been skate. So let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head, because I didn't write it down. If you liked it, like. If you disliked it, go ahead and dislike. I don't mind. I don't mind. Okay. Jeepers creeps. So yeah. So like and dislike if you liked and disliked. Hit the bell, subscribe, and yeah, honestly, thanks so much for watching listening to another episode of the podcast Think Rich. Yeah, I'm going to be making an Instagram for this page, for this podcast soon. So look out for that. I'll see you in the next episode.